My name's Jack, this is my husband Gary, and this is our daughter Frankie.
We were really excited about the prospect of adopting, and through the years we thought more and more about it, and then we had some friends that said great things about AIS.
We knew going into the adoption process that it takes a village to raise a family, and what we've found is it also really takes a village to adopt a child.
When we met with AIS for the first time, we were a little nervous. It was kind of like a first date, because this is someone that's going to help you with your future. So
I think the two of us were pretty much immediately right at ease.
Yeah.
It was
Met
great.
you guys.
It really was almost like a family feel. We walked in there, we're made to feel right at home. Sitting in the room, seeing the profiles of other families who had grown their family with the help of AIS kind of further illustrated that it was doable, that hey, here are families who've done this. And then we kind of got right into it. So what I appreciated was there were no dumb questions. I mean, we just spewed question after question after question. So while the AIS team was kind of getting to know us and learning about our goals and our desires, and that really put us at ease. I think we left that first meeting on a high, just super giddy with the fact that like, hey, we've taken the first step, we've really put things in motion, and really feeling empowered, like we've got the resources now behind us in AIS to really assist us and make this thing happen. I was really moved by the fact that the folks on the AIS team that we worked with, they all grew their families through adoption. So you've got that compassion and that empathy. It really makes it a personal experience.
Yeah, the advice given to us by the professionals at AIS, that's the greatest thing, because it's like they've been through it. And so they know a lot of the things that you're going through, the emotions you're going through, the questions you have, and so they really keep you on track, which is great.
We were given kind of a checklist of items to do prior to our second meeting, and we're explained that, hey, you know, birth mother opportunities could come along in the meantime, so be prepared. And we were having dinner with friends the night of our first appointment with AIS.
And we get an email.
And we got our first email.
And we're like, whoa.
The first sentence of the email was like, hey guys, don't freak out, but we told you this could happen. And we were energized. That opportunity did not work out, but we got a number of other opportunities, and not too far after we got the opportunity to adopt Frankie. And so what we had to do was trust the folks at AIS were doing their part while we diligently tackled our part.
So reviewing the information from the birth mother, when we were presented that, it's not an easy, you know, it's emotional. There's a lot of emotions in it, so you want to make sure you're looking at everything and you're learning about what could be your future child. So you take it very seriously, look into everything you can, and not every opportunity might not be the best fit for you, and that's okay.
You know, when we were initially consulting with AIS, they really helped us get our mind in the right headspace in terms of what to expect. There's a lot of misconceptions about adoption, and we had some of them. It was good to get those inaccuracies dispelled early in the process before we were presented with any opportunities. I think we were empowered to have a more realistic perspective after meeting with AIS. A couple of the opportunities we chose to pass on were challenging, and that's another area where AIS was really supportive. They reassured us that there would be other opportunities and thanked us for our feedback, and the adoption process from end to end is a roller coaster. There's lots of ups and downs, and it can be immensely stressful. You know, the reality is expecting a child is stressful regardless of how that child comes to your family.
So the home study process, when you first see all the long list of things that they need, you're kind of overwhelmed and you're going, oh my goodness. There needs to be a lot of checks and balances in place. And so there were a lot of different things that we needed to accomplish. You just have to be patient. You'll eventually get everything in place. You know, everything will be complete. It's very time consuming, but very necessary, because I wouldn't want children going out to just anybody, I guess I would say.
The home study agency that we worked with, AIS, referred us to them, and they were fantastic. And they had a similar policy to AIS. Hey, we'll knock this out as quickly as y'all knock it out. It was highly organized and very defined in terms of these are the milestones you've got to reach, these are the things you've got to do. It's really just about getting organized, staying organized, and knocking things out. We were really moved by the home study process. I think it started to make the fact that we were going to have a child at some point before too long a little realer. When we got the call that we were matched, it took us a while to be thrilled. We were terrified. I mean, I just can't lie, you know? When we got the opportunity to submit our profile to be considered to adopt Frankie, we were excited and we were hopeful. And then being matched, it was like, oh, it's hard not to be anxious. And it's like, well, what if this isn't the right one, you know? And so it's like what I talked about earlier. It's like you just have to turn back to your faith, have faith in the process, and that, like, hey, this is all meant to be.
Just like any new parent, you're thinking, oh my gosh, a new baby.
Well, and there's a certain amount of powerlessness that you experience as adoptive parents. We have no control over how birth mom is living her life, or what she's putting in her body, or the decisions she's making. And so again, it's like all of these things can be scary, and we just kind of really had to choose to shift our focus to the exciting parts and to the fact that our lifelong dream of becoming parents was getting closer to becoming a reality, and have faith that everything was going to work out. And so we started picking out colors for the nursery and telling our family and making a list of baby names and really choosing to lean into the things that made us excited about becoming parents. When we got matched, we started texting with birth mom. And that was thrilling. The first text we got was we were playing cards with some friends, and we got the text and we had a meltdown at the kitchen table. It was really exciting because it made it more real. We tried to not have expectations. My whole thing is the fewer expectations have, the less likely you are to be disappointed. We just kind of were open to whatever birth mom wanted in terms of communication, and we had a little bit of communication back and forth, enough to get us excited, and we traded some photos. She sent us some photos of her and of birth dad. And that was really exciting because it made it a little more real. We got matched right before Thanksgiving, and just after Christmas, we had our first phone call with her. So that was thrilling. We talked to her for about 30 minutes on the phone, and we're really excited. And we got to know her enough to where we felt comfortable about the possibility of going down and meeting them in person. And so with a lot of nerves, we booked a flight for a weekend trip down to meet them. So a lot of it was really rewarding, and we got back, I was so glad we did it. And I described it to friends and family as an emotional marathon. It was like in 2 days we had run 26 miles. We were equal parts excited and touched. I mean, our first meal together, all 4 of us got teary at the table talking about Frankie, about the life we wanted to give Frankie. But we were also scared because the reality is a lot of birth moms who choose adoption, they're just not at the same place in life that we are, and we have to understand that and approach that from compassion. I want to save the world, and I can't do that. And so I just tried to focus my energy on preparing to give Frankie the best life we could. I'm so grateful we had the opportunity to meet the birth parents. We're so grateful to particularly Frankie's birth mom for choosing adoption and for choosing our family. And we've been able to communicate that to her. We were able to get some great photos after Frankie was born of the 4 of us and Frankie. We have a lot of information and pictures to provide to Frankie one day when she gets older and starts asking questions. Overall, I would say we had an immense sense of gratitude and excitement. But it would be disingenuous of me to say there wasn't some fear and some anxiety kind of peppered in there as well.
But overall, it was a very positive experience, and I'm so glad that we did do that.
It was always very important to us to always speak about Frankie's birth parents in a really positive light, and to honor the difficult and compassionate decision that they made to place Frankie in our care. And so to be able to also know what her birth mom's smile looks like and know what her birth dad's laugh is like. We've had nothing but positive experiences being 2 dads with a child everywhere we've gone.
Everywhere.
I would say folks from the LGBT plus community who are considering growing their families, I think it's a deeply personal decision. What I've found with adoption is that it's a really affirmative decision. There's a lot of crossroads along the way that you really have to double down and affirm your commitment to becoming a parent. And so it can be discouraging if you don't rely on resources, whatever they may be. And it can be really overwhelming when we initially we're exploring the options. It's like going grocery shopping hungry. You look and it's just like, oh my gosh, where do I start? That's where AIS for us really narrowed the scope and helped us focus on the things that were important and utilize the resources that made the most sense and work in the states and with the agencies that made the most sense.
AIS, I mean, tremendous advocate for us, because there's so many things that you don't know about before you go into this process. So we just really appreciate everything that AIS has done for us and helped us with finding our family, Frankie. So
growing our family through adoption has been the best decision we've ever made. And it's been at times equal parts thrilling and scary, and we're just so grateful for the resources we had. We're really grateful to the AIS team, and we're grateful to our community, to our friends, and to our family who've helped get us here. And like Gary said, we're really blessed to be in a position where we can hopefully be that resource for someone else in the future. None of this would have been possible if we had not kind of gone out on a limb and said, you know what, let's fill out this application on the AIS website. What do we have to lose? And we are so grateful we did.
Yes.